Greetings, everyone. This is Warren Edwards, and we are here at Kafou Gallery. And we're going to have a nice talk with Hatshepsut, which she is an artist who puts all of her passion and all her creativity on display. I'm here to take a look, and we're going to have a nice talk about her name, her legacy, and what her artwork means to her and the universe. So we're going to do this thing. Here we are, Kafou Gallery.
So his name's not there, the name of the place isn't there, but our pictures of the works and the artifacts are naturally. So he likes to paint a lot of scenes from everyday life of a practicing Buddhism. So people coming to get counseling, treatment. This is the ceremony of Wakayama, which predated the Haitian Revolution. So this started August 14, 1791. This is the main figure here is Boukman. You know him as Dutty Boukman.
From Jamaica.
Exactly that. And he denotes that he was Muslim with the Kufi. And so here in the title too, he calls it the ceremony du Chemin, right? And that means something really important. The artist, who is also a very, like a master's level mason and Gauguin, is telling us that this is the story at the Imam's house. That's what he says in the title, right? We've always known it as this ceremony in an alligator swamp, where this Muslim man happened to be there. But he's making it a point to say, no, we were at the Imam's house. You know what I mean? And so I think that's some of the subtlety that exists there. And also, like, we have other figures here, like Cecile Fatima, right? She's carrying that blade there, and she's the one that led the sacrifice of this black pig. So a lot of practicing Buddhism, when they see the image, they're seeing something different because they can recognize a lot of what's in the imagery. For us, you know, that may not be holding the practice. It's a big teaching moment about like what led to the Haitian Revolution and the establishment of the first Black Republic. And so I thought it would be the most appropriate piece for what the mission is for this space. It was like, no, this is a convergence of 200 to 300 marooned, enslaved, and indigenous people, all with different languages, different backgrounds, but one intention. And the intention is liberation.
Yes.
And so I was like, I think that this might be the piece that, you know, sets the tone for what we do in here. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about going on 30 years old, and there's some wear, but his family had shared with us that he loved his canvases warm, like he liked them to look like they were in places that were lived.
Right.
And so we felt it was appropriate then that we could just put it on display with our last show as is. But now that the show's coming down and we're repairing, we're going to get this restored. They've identified only one artist who's allowed to do that. So we'll reach out to her and then just kind of, you know, museum blast it just to make sure we can keep it for some time.
Yeah. You know, when I take a look at this, the energy, of course, and the color, the symbolism, and the thing about it is when you look at it, you step back, it reminded me of the style. It reminded me of Good Times.
Yeah.
You know, that painting that comes on.
Yes.
The style is very similar.
Yes.
So I'm like, wow, you know, I really love that style because everyone remembers that. You know, and we like, I believe it was a football player, a former football player who made that. Yeah, I believe so. So, and the thing about it is the symbolism. Could you tell me a little bit about the symbolism? I saw it on the door, and I see it there. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, sure. So these are called veves, right? They're kind of like sigils, essentially, and they're connected to different energies within the Vodou pantheon. So while I can't tell you what these particular markings are, I have an idea.
Okay.
But it would be most appropriate for someone who carries the practice to tell you what this is. Now, what's on my door, those are also veves. They represent the divine feminine entity Ezra-Lee, right, who was the mother of Haiti, right? So this ceremony happened and they sacrificed this black pig, and the energy that showed up was a divine feminine energy, Ezra-Lee Dunto, right? And there's a branch in Vodou that is born in Haiti during the revolution, right? So I'm giving you a lot, but Vodou has like 21 nations of families. You can think of them as different lineages. And they come from all over Congo. They come from, some of them are Taino. One is Taino, and they have a lot of different roots. But the Petro lineage, that was born in the revolution, born out of this. And that is where that energy of Ulekai, that's that hot, fiery energy that's born in Haiti. So the energies on the door, as we've done told, we have Oku Ferai that's represented on the door. Those are warrior kind of spirits. But she also represents love, unconditional love. Like this is your mom, maternal love. Right? So mothers go to war for their children.
Right.
And so that is what we have reflected on the door. And on the other side, when the door is closed, we have Dambala and Aida Wedo represented by the serpents and the great cosmic serpent and the egg. So that's represented there. And then we have Ezra at the bottom again.
Okay, so I also wanted to ask you about your name.
Oh, yes.
Hatshepsut. Now tell us about that.
Okay, yeah. So when I was 9 years old, I was in Catholic school and I had a math teacher named Miss Jackson. And I don't know why I learned about Hatshepsut in math class, but I just remember being in the 4th grade and I learned about this woman who was like, by any means, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna rule this thing and this is just what it's gonna be. And I was so impressed by that. I just remember thinking to myself, God, I'm related to this lady somehow. Like, I don't know how that works, but if she felt familiar to me, I'd never let it go.
Okay.
So
what energy did you get when you heard about her story? What was something that made you feel that familiarity?
So it is I think it's the audacity. I think it really resonated with me. No, here's what it is. With these eyes now, at my age, I feel like I was in a Catholic school, a young black girl, and like you're getting information that like women aren't necessarily at the front of anything, right? You get the Mother Mary, and that's wonderful, but like you don't get, there's no forceful figure of a woman saying this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do, and it's black, like it's. So I just kind of think that I was enamored by all of that, by the audaciousness to say I'm going to rule one because my child's too young. I'm not going to put him in that position. But I'm going to go as far as to wear the ceremonial beard. I'm going to put things on. And then the city flourished under Hatshepsut too. So I think I just was like, oh wow, look at what this woman did. And I feel like I've got a little bit of that audacity too.
So you're saying women in the forefront. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a point where the feminine energy could have gotten tired of being in the forefront?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I think in my mind, balance looks like if somebody's in the lead, there's someone supporting that lead, right? So like I would imagine that this energy has a core. Like, you know what I mean? In the pantheon, you'll see, well, if you look into it further, you'll see a lot of like marriage between these spirits, right? And if you look at what they represent, then the marriage makes more sense. It's like, okay, well, this energy is an energy of war, but then she's also sometimes married to this energy of great peace and strategy, right? And so her partner is a strategist. She's fury, but this energy tells her how to direct it. So it's never a situation where it's like, oh, I'm exhausted, I'm doing this all by myself. It's not reflected in what I've learned in this system at all. And so I don't believe that, like, I'm pretty powerful by myself, but I do have people who kind of hold me up, so and because of that, I don't get tired.
Okay. So you have to keep going. You have to
You
keep
do.
going. It's like nature.
Indeed.
Yeah,
But that's feminine. You know what I'm saying? It's always giving life, and it's always giving life to systems. Like it doesn't like shoot one thing off that exists by itself. Everything is in relationship with each other. That's what it means to be matriarchal. Right? So community is the point.
Community is the point.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. So I want to go over the piece and also talk about, I have a second-born son.
Okay.
And I named him Toussaint.
Oh.
Okay. Because I read about the revolution when I was in school, and I just took in all that energy. And I had an understanding of what it takes and the sacrifice that it takes to bring forth peace. So how did the revolution to you bring forth an inner peace to you?
That's a beautiful question. How did the revolution bring in inner peace to me? It made rage sacred. You know, it justified like sacred anger. I think like we're in a time where there's a lot of like, you know, we're pushing the limits on a lot of things.
Right.
And we do a lot of rationalizing in order to keep things sane, right? Or to keep normalcy going.
Okay.
And this is the time that we have, the time period, we're talking about enslavement. And when we talk about the period of like enslavement, in Haiti in particular, they would send rebellious enslaved people to Haiti and Jamaica because it's particularly brutal. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And so like he was sold to Haiti because one of the stories say that his mother and himself were rebel rousers in Jamaica. Right. So, you know, we sell you to Haiti, to Saint Domingue, where the French had perfected, you know, their torture to the point that enslaved people would only live maybe max 3 to 6 years. Right? So we're talking about a lot of violence. And these people in the middle of the night, they don't all speak the same language.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even speak the same language, but we understand how serious the times are.
Okay.
I was told an anecdote during a lecture, and all these things, you know, we always have to verify because there's so many different nuances to this story, but that everyone was given 7 rocks. Because they didn't all speak the same language. So it's like every day you're gonna drop a rock. When you are out of rocks, that's when we start. That level of coordination to me is just like super impressive. And I feel like personally, these are my ancestors. You know what I'm saying? This is where I come from. And so nothing feels impossible to me. You know, like I also feel like, you know, whenever my spirit starts to stir that something isn't right or that something has to change, I don't feel like I have to be quiet about that. I don't necessarily feel like I've got to get an external okay or something. Like I don't necessarily need an external green light. Like it's been, you know, it's in the blood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you just kind of get activated when you think about what they've done to get you here. And so when you find yourself in a season like this where it's like, hey, we could use more visibility, we could use more access, we could use more whatever, you got it in your DNA to like make it happen in the same fashion. So that's kind of like
so curating artwork, what is it that you want to give to the world and how can you evolve humanity through your creativity?
What I want to give to the world through my curation, I want to increase access. I feel that even understanding and being able to absorb art without feeling like, I've seen it in this space where people don't even know how to engage in art space. Then there's this interesting inner challenge of feeling like your interpretation of the work is worthy to be considered, you know what I mean, in any kind of conversation or space. I want to eliminate that. And I know that's internal work for people to do on their own, but if our curation, if the curation we can do here, allows you to understand the artist's vision clearly, you can see yourself reflected in the story, which is why we are focused on provocative Afro-Caribbean, Latinx, Haitian artists. You know, I want you to be able to feel immersed in it so that you too can take the artist's journey through the work. Yeah, so it's like experiential design for me. I really want to transport people into what we are showing them so that they leave changed too. And a goal of ours is to make sure beyond the curation in our programming, every show, you know, that you can take the work home, you know, take the message of the show home and apply it into something that is applicable. Like my beginnings aren't in the art industry, they're in community development. So I'm very bottom up as opposed to top down. So I'm like, how does this work for you at home?
Okay. So can you tell us the name of the piece again in your best Haitian accent?
Thank you very much. So the ceremony du bois chez Imam.
Okay. All right, one more time.
Ceremony du bois chez Imam.
So there you have it. Thank you. Can we go can we talk about this piece over here?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's go. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll give you a little context to what the rest of the show was. You know that was here. But, Space is Place in planning, right? A space is something you can measure, but a place is something that has value. Right, a value has been attributed to it. So through different mediums, we had work, photography. There was, our sculptural work, we did installation here, and we explored the conversion of an ordinary, measurable space into a place of meaning through cultural celebration and ritual, which is why we have this included. Embodiment, like taking up space in your personhood, which is what Bianca kind of touches on, and then. Zarita, who's not here, but we have an external wall in the community that you may be able to see one piece on. She explored displacement through forced migration, in Haiti specifically. So we got to take a look at what makes a space and then what happens when you lose it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so sculptures.
Yes.
One of my favorites. Parts of artistry. So let's take a look at this for a second and ponder it. And I want to tell you, I love sculptures. Okay, all right,
Yes.
it's my favorite.
Yes.
So take us through the piece, please.
Okay, of course. So Bianca Allen is a sculpturist and a painter as well. She's in a bit of a surrealism phase with her oil on canvas work. And she likes to express in her sculptures, these are called Black Women in Repose. Right? When she was looking for inspiration for these, she would type in Black women embodied at rest, and she was met with porn, so lots of pornography. And as a result, she was like, you know what, well, I guess I will envision myself what that looks like, and used her own face to start. And wanted to just take back possession of the Black femme form through the sculptural work.
Okay.
She has an emphasis on folds and making sure that bodies reflect actual bodies of women. So there are other pieces that have one breast, that have many different types of body shapes. And from these pieces here, she just really wanted to make sure that they articulated different energies too. This is restful for sure, but this is more defiant. And then we have another one here that is confidence with the eyes closed, right? So I think there's subtle differences. This one, the eyes open, right? This is laid back, and this is on a special stoneware as well. And so I think she just wanted to give us different energy, like different vibes of Black women being self-possessed. It doesn't always look soft and relaxed and dainty. Sometimes it looks like I'm sitting here. Sometimes I'm sitting here. And the way she connects it with her painting is that she expresses through the hair. So in her paintings, the hair will have like cosmos or other stars, planets in them. She'll just go bigger and bigger and bigger with the hair. And so she'll try to reflect some of that in the sculptural work also. Yeah.
Good. All right. Okay. So the process, can you tell us about the process? Do you know anything about her process?
Well, she's got 3 different styles. Like I know that at first she will start with her face and really simply just kind of like, I don't want to explain it. Very simply for her, like she'll begin with like her face and then just start with other limbs separately. I believe that this material, like these materials are a bit different than this here. This she had to use stoneware for, and it's a special mix. So she dyed it, and then the burning process I don't think was the same either. So Bianca, what I can do is have organized for Bianca to come when she's picking up.
That would be great. Yes, that would be great.
She teaches sculptural workshops for seniors as well. Yeah, so
yeah,
we're looking to host a few of them here when her schedule opens up. But and that way maybe you can capture that as well. But that's the most I can share at this point with her process, because she's been sculpting for so long. I think that it's not even how do I explain it? It's not even, it doesn't take long for her to produce work either. So it's almost like, I think she fired these up for this show. And so like I would love for her to talk a little bit more in detail. I know that the Open she was here for, but she hasn't been in a little bit because of her health.
The one thing I notice about pieces of this sculpture is a lot of the times hands and feet are very tedious. It takes, but look at the exquisite nature of these feet. Take a look. Take a look at how the hand.
Yeah, it's the hand back there.
All right, look at this hand back.
And you
take
don't
a look
often
at that.
see the sculptural work where the hands are separate from the form.
Exactly.
So she, which is why I believe for her, it's like the pieces are separate. She will work on them separately and then kind of do a conjoining at the ends. And she teaches her students to do the very same thing. Like she's shown me busts that her students have created in just 2 sessions.
Okay.
Right? And I think it's a matter of like, she's like, I will groove out for, there's a fundamental way to start. And then it just becomes a matter of like nuance. And so I think she would be better, obviously, at speaking to how she's gotten into this, how she's gotten this good. But it's one thing we did note was the fact that like the arms are open, like it's not stuck to the body of the sculpture. Like she's really taking risks with positioning them in the way that they are.
I want to ask another question.
Sure.
The protection of love.
Yeah.
What do you think it takes to protect love?
What does it take to protect love?
Yes.
Love.
Okay.
Very good one.
Love. My understanding of love, my working definition of love I take from Bell Hooks.
Okay.
The book all about love. Love is a willingness to display responsibility, care, honesty, respect, apply knowledge in order to edify your spirit or someone else's. And so for me, if I'm not doing any of those things, then I can't be in love, right? Like I can't love you for real. So I feel like the way you protect love is by observing those things, like making sure you're honest, making sure you're responsible, making sure if you learn something, you apply it, right? The person you're in love with shares something with you, apply it. Trust, like as long as you have those things, then love stays maintained.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate this conversation. I mean, it was great. We should maybe have a part 2.
Yes. Let us know.
So this is Warren Edwards, and we are here with Hatshepsut. This is Create Matters, so go out there and create what matters. Thank you.